I didn't actually feel a call to ministry. I loved preaching and I wanted to study theology more, so I applied to be a reader. As part of that discernment process, the person in charge said to me, why don't you consider being a vicar? But I refused, so carried on doing the reader training. Then after a couple more years, actually, I began to listen to other people saying to me, I think you should be a vicar. When I went to speak to my vicar about it, he agreed and said, yep, Hannah, I think this is what God's calling you to do. You need to go and explore this further. I had to consider my husband. He was a primary school teacher, very happy in his job, had to think about what he would do, where would he go, where would we live. We had our eldest daughter by that time as well, and so that was a factor in how would it impact on us as a family, which we explored as we went through the process. We explored going away to residential college and my husband moving to another part of the country getting a job, but we felt that wasn't right for us. Around the same time I was exploring my call, Bishop Jeff told me about a new course at St Mellitus Northwest that he thought would be ideal for us as a family, could stay in our house, I could work for a local church and Stephen could stay in his job and Grace could stay in her childcare. We explored that and it just seemed to fit right for us as a family. I spent part of every week working for a church, 3 days during the week, and 1 day a week in Liverpool Cathedral at college, taking lectures. There were residential weekends away and time, self-motivated time on study during the week as well. It was complicated, it was a juggling, but actually college were really very supportive of me as a mum and really encouraging me that. Olivia, our youngest, was born in my first year. She came to college for the first term while she was a baby and I fed her there. Everybody helped look after her. She was embraced as part of the family actually. It did make things difficult, but people always seemed to welcome me with a baby and it was always a great talking point with families in the parish and new people that came into church. Moving from teaching to the priesthood was a difficult decision for me actually. I absolutely loved being a primary school teacher. I was really passionate about God having Christian teachers in schools and I loved working with children. I loved the interaction, I loved the busyness, I loved the social side of it. I actually only left because I really felt that God had called me to do that. I was very, very reluctant to go for the ministry and I only actually went to my BAP, the final interview, so that God could give me a no and I could carry on being a teacher and get on with my life. And when I got that yes, I actually had to wrestle for a long time with this is what God is saying, this is the door He's opened. And for me, it was actually about obedience and commitment. I will step through this door that God has opened, even though this feels really comfortable and secure, trusting that God would lead me on to what He wanted me to do. Leighton and Staining is a very large parish situated in Blackpool. A whole range of people really, people who are middle class, have good jobs, but also people who live on benefits, who struggle for their day-to-day life. That gives us lots of opportunities as a parish. We run a well cafe twice a week where we offer free food. We help people with job applications, with benefit help, give out food parcels occasionally. But also we have a lot of opportunity to go into our 3 local primary schools and do work there, as well as both the churches and all the services that are involved there. It's complicated, I would say, to be a mum and a priest. There's lots of demands on my time and I found, and I'm learning, it's a journey. I feel I've only just started, I've only been ordained 7 months. It's a journey where I'm learning to prioritise what goes into my diary first, what things cannot be moved, what are the times when my family come first. So I have an agreement with my incumbent that between 5 and 7, I try not to, if at all possible, do any work. It's around tea time, collecting my daughters, you know, homework, reading books, that kind of thing. That's time for them. I try and guard my day off as much as possible. That's also dependent on my husband's job because he's a teacher. For me, the positives as a parent and as a priest is that actually my time is my own during the day sometimes. I can do the shopping. If I need to go and do half an hour's quick shop in between appointments, I can do that. I can put the washing machine on while I'm writing a sermon at the same time. There's flexibility in terms of going to see things at my daughter's school or my youngest daughter's nursery. I can go and do those things. And actually I can pick and choose what things I will do and when I will do things to fit in around the family. So often, because I've got young children, I might work later at night than other people might choose to, but that's because I've not been working earlier in the day to be with the family. So that's been a great advantage compared to my previous career as a teacher. We've been very blessed in this house that the diocese bought for us. We requested a 3-bedroomed house, so we had a bedroom each for our daughters. And I've also got a study downstairs, which has worked really well. The house is great. It's got a downstairs toilet as well, so that if we have meetings in an evening, I'm not concerned that people are going upstairs to the bathroom and disturbing the girls while they sleep. So that means that the home is also used and people can come and feel welcome here as well, which has been great actually. The pinch points are that time is precious and there are lots of demands on your time, and it's how you work out the best. What should you do? What are the priorities? How do I prioritise my family in the busyness? Making sure that I don't work too many evenings. I find that's important to prioritise, that I haven't done too many in a week, that I've made sure I've put the girls to bed enough, that I've spent time with my husband. That's hard, and it's hard to work out sometimes, and sometimes I get it wrong and I'm still learning. The things that I've learned that help me to cope is that I guard my quiet time, my prayer time. I go and see my spiritual director regularly, and I would take half a day at that opportunity to just sit and pray. Almost that sense of actually being too busy not to pray. On a week-by-week basis, I love running, and I go running to clear my mind, to give me space and time. I really guard my holiday and my holidays and my day off, to spend that time relaxing with my family. I have also got a cleaner in my house because I quickly realised that keeping my house clean and being a priest were just not compatible with the hours I was working. And I had a discussion with my husband where I said, this will help me to function effectively in all my roles, and that's what I've done. And it's a very odd situation, but it's one that's working for us as a family. I think some people are put off, particularly young women, because they do see that difficulty of how do you balance life, ministry, parenthood, your family, your commitments. How do you make sure you're giving the best of everything to it all? But actually, I really believe that God called me at this time of my life to be a priest. That's been a real part of my journey. That for me, God didn't call me when my children were older. He called me when I had young children. And actually, I feel that's important, and I recognise that, and I try and affirm that in other people and encourage other people in that as well. But I can see why people are put off. It's, you know, the training, the commitment to that 2 or 3 years away training, moving home. We've been very blessed that actually we only move 5 miles down the road, so our support network in terms of family and friends is still here, but that is a big factor for people when they consider the ministry. I'd say to anybody who's considering the next step, find somebody to talk to, actually find somebody who's really doing it. Come and talk to me. Find someone who can give you their experience, can share with you the highs and the lows, and can put you in the right direction. You will always hear lots of stories, people saying you can't do it, people saying you can do it, but it's always worth trying to see what God wants you to do next.